Hey Avery, Alexa. What's up, what's up? Morning, morning, morning. Hey Sloth. Oops. Hey Priscilla. How's everyone doing this morning? Hey Rome. Hey Anya. What's up, what's up? Hey Roxy. Alright. Oh, thank you. I like this shirt too. This was from the first race I did at Disneyland, not Disney World, back in 2015. It was a long time ago. I did the Tinkerbell race specifically so that I could run through the castle. And when you're at Disney World, to run through the castle, you have to do the princess race. So there's different rules depending on where you go. Hey, Jen. Depending on where you are and all that. Do you have any runs coming up? No, not right now, but maybe next year. I already did one this year. To have more than one a year is quite expensive, you know. They're not cheap. We thought about, Secret Husband and I thought about doing, there's a 5K for Halloween in our neighborhood. Oh, you did, Jen? I didn't know that. We thought about doing the 5K in our neighborhood, maybe, but that, you know, that's a totally different thing. But the Disney races are pretty pricey. So I have to limit them for my wallet's sake. I'm also getting old. Morning, Nisa. Morning, morning, morning. I went to visit my friend and she really wanted to do it. Yeah, I love it, Jen. I think it's great. If it was cheaper, I'd value you more. I don't know. Oh, excuse me. I need my coffee, clearly. Anya, they do have wheelchair participants as well in all the Disney races, so you could do it if you wanted. It does make for a long day. Is it too early to play with slime? That's a personal preference. That's totally up to you. If you love playing with slime early in the morning, play with slime early in the morning. That's cool, Anya. That's cool. Yeah, it would be a lot of fun, right? I usually play with slime during book club. Yeah, I don't see why not. If I had hands, I would probably do that. You know, obviously my hands are occupado during book club for obvious reasons. Slime is in the fridge. Every time I go to the fridge, I play with my son. Your slime is in the fridge because of heat, I assume. I'm just guessing. Where's Becca? I wonder if I didn't send her the thing, if she... Let's see. No, I think I did. She might just be busy with the kids. I just know that she wants to know what happened, so I don't want her to miss it if she can help it. Boop-a-doo. Yeah, so we're getting to the end of this, and it's just riding right out toward the end of this book. I don't know. I'm overwhelmed with emotions, thoughts and feelings and all that. I know, that's exactly right. It is nail biting. That's exactly right. That's why I got myself one of my favorite cups out today, because I don't think I could make it through without it. You know? How? How are we supposed to do it? Oh. Alright. Let's have coffee and read some books. Or a book. Oh, look at that. Nailed it. It's been a while since I got it that well done. Alright. Let's go to the reading chair. Through my jungle over here. Monstera is getting a new baby leaf. You guys want to see? Look at this. It's getting a new baby. Hasn't even fully opened yet. And then there's another new baby down here. Look at that. Growing, growing. This one is pretty new. This one only opened about a week or two ago. But this one's not even unfurled yet. Yeah. Brand new. That's why I can't do series, because I fall in love with them, then it'll be over. Yeah, you know, the thing is, I don't always, I think only like 3 times in my whole life have I ever like been this invested in a series. So it's not a regular occurrence for me anyway. Maybe you feel differently, but I don't think I don't always get like that, you know? It needs to be like really good for it to be like that. But, you know, everyone's different. All right. Oh, spill. No. All right, where are we in this world? How many chapters do we have? I think 3 or 4. I mean, not much, Avery. Really not much. We're on chapter 22 right now, and I think there's 25. I think. Hold on. Yeah, I think there's just 25. That's it, you know? So, not much left for us. Hold on tight. I guess I can't do it, can I? I was gonna say, if I can show you guys, see if I can do a sticker, if I can do an effect. Let me see if I can show you guys. I made you guys a sticker. It hasn't been printed yet, but look at this. Well, it says the official, and then it says unauthorized. Oh, this is a terrible way to view it. It says the official unauthorized Chris Coffer fan club, but that's a terrible way to view it because you can't really see it. Oh man, I wanted to be able to show it to you guys. No. All right. Well, anyway, it's cute, and I made it for us. It's just for us, you know what I mean? Just for us to have. Like, it's not anything serious. But I thought it might be a fun thing for us to have. It's got like a little magic wand on it, and it says the official, and then in parentheses, unauthorized Chris Coffer fan club, and it's like a little badge. I got them printed. It hasn't come in the mail yet, but that's what they look like, sort of. I don't know why it won't let me show you the small way, so you can actually see it. Yeah, you can definitely put it on your Kindle case. That's a great place for it, because it's books, obviously. I mean, not that you can't put other stickers on your Kindle case. I do, obviously. But, wonder if it'll let me do it this way. No. Okay, I guess because I have limited features on this
page. I can't show it. I'll show you guys later. I'll post a picture in like the book club chat or something, but you guys will, you know, basically it's all pretty and it's a little rectangle with like curvy edges, and it just, that's all it says. It's not anything serious, but I thought it was cute, so I made it for us because I wanted it for me on my Kindle. And sometimes I just make extras for everyone else. This is terrifying. The drawing for this is terrifying. Look at that. That's like horrifically terrifying. And we know exactly what it is because we know what happened yesterday. Okay, yeah, we all need it, Roxy. We all need it. I was basically just gonna toss it in the next package to everyone who's in book club. You know, I don't. Some of you might have noticed that, do you guys remember when we first met Madame Weatherberry and they said that she had like flamboyant horses, but they were really like unicorns drawing a golden carriage or whatever? I got the flamboyant horses sticker made, and I don't sell that sticker or anything. I just have been tossing it in the orders of anyone who's part of book club. You know what I mean? As like a, here, I know you're gonna want this because it's about our books. Because no one else cares except for the few of us that are here, so it's not even worth listing. So it's kind of like that. Like, I'll just stick them in there. It's like a present. Because like, I don't know. Does anyone care except for like 15 of us? No. I don't know. I got some extra flamboyant horses once made, and I did send them to some kids too, because like unicorns are popular with kids, but the Chris Coffer thing is only going to work for a very small group of people. So I only got like 30 of them made, just whatever. Okay. Chapter 22, Terror in Sasha's Home. Just kidding. That's not what it's called at all. It's chapter 22, The King of Demons and the Queen of Snow. Xanthos had no idea why he'd been brought to the righteous empire, but he knew his chances of escaping were nearly impossible. He was curled up on the floor of his tiny cage with his hands and feet tied behind his back and a cloth wrapped around his mouth. Xanthos was the only prisoner in the dungeon of the righteous palace, and his cage was surrounded by a dozen soldiers from the army of the dead. Oh, we barely just started back. We've read like 3 sentences, so don't even worry. And I hope you slept well. At any moment, he expected the righteous emperor to come stomping down the dungeon steps, and we used him... stomping down the dungeon steps and use him as a prop in some macabre scheme, and that was only if the alchemist didn't find and execute him first. Either way, Xanthos would need nothing short of a miracle to survive. Just as Xanthos started to accept his grim fate, a loud crash came from the top of the steps. 2 dead soldiers hurried up the stairs to inspect the source of the noise and disappeared from view. A moment later, there was another crash as the soldiers toppled down the stairs without the skull attached to his neck. A young man in black and white checkered armor emerged down the stairs, riding the second soldier like a surfboard. He raised a slingshot as he slid down the steps, launching rocks at the skeletal guards one by one until he knocked their skulls clean off their bony necks. Xanthos mumbled under the cloth. While the headless skeletons searched the dungeon for their decapitated skulls, Elric snatched the ring of keys off the soldier's belt and raced towards Xanthos' cage. I'm sorry, I don't know why I couldn't read for a second, you guys. Oh my gosh, I need another sip of coffee. I need to be able to read properly. This is too exciting. We can't be tripping over our words at an hour like this. It's too important. Ah, Xanthos, thank God you're still alive, Elric said. I was worried it'd be too late. The elf unlocked the cage door and untied the cloth around the fairy's mouth. Elric, how did you get here? Your father said that he locked you up, Xanthos said. Oh, yeah, he did, but I escaped, Elric said. Elves are horrible tailors, but luckily they are even worse architects. Would you believe that our prison is made out of sticks? Xanthos was so overwhelmed with joy that tears welled in his eyes. I am so happy to see you. Thank you for coming to rescue me, he said. Don't mention it, Elric said. I couldn't let the righteous emperor hurt such a cute... Elric, behind you! The dead soldiers had screwed their skulls back onto their necks and were now charging toward the elf. Elric dived out of the way, barely missing getting struck by the blades of their swords. The soldiers' blades slammed into the bars of Xanthos' cage and knocked it over. Xanthos rolled onto the floor and desperately tried to get up, but his restraints made it impossible to stand. Elric, you gotta help me, he cried. I've gotta get off the ground or the fires are gonna start. 1 second, I'm a little busy, Elric said. The elf was fighting off the soldiers 12-1. He rapidly fired his slingshot, shooting off their arms and legs, but he couldn't keep up with their assault. A skeleton kicked Elric's leg out from underneath him, and the elf landed on his back. His slingshot was ripped out of his hand. Leave him alone, Xanthos yelled. The fairy rolled across the floor and knocked the soldiers off their feet, but they quickly bounced back. The skeletons surrounded Xanthos and Elric, looming toward the boys with their swords raised high above their heads. The boys winced as they anticipated being sliced, and suddenly, the dark dungeon was filled with bright lights. Xanthos and Elric shielded their eyes. When their vision adjusted, they saw fire bursting up from the ground all around them. The fire distracted the skeletons, and they turned toward the flames in amazement. The temperature in the dungeon suddenly rose to sweltering heights. Xanthos sat up on his knees, and he used his body to shield Elric from the heat. Get out of the dungeon before this fire kills you, Xanthos said. The elf's mouth dropped open as he watched the fire. You mean before they kill me, he said, pointing to the flames. Xanthos turned toward the fire and squinted at the flames. After watching for a few moments, he understood why Elric was so stunned. The dungeon wasn't filled with one powerful fire, but 12 small fires, and each set of flames was shaped like a person. Oh my god, Xanthos gasped. They're people. The dead soldiers zeroed in on their new target, swinging their swords and thrusting their shields at the fire people, but the skeletons' weapons went right through them. Each fire person grabbed a soldier, wrapping their flaming arms and legs tightly around the skeletons' hollow torsos, and the skeletons ran amok as they tried to extinguish the flames, slamming into the walls and each other. But the fire people never loosened their grips. They held on to the soldiers until each of their bodies crumbled into a pile of charred bones. The skeletons' ashy remains still twisted with life, but they were damaged far beyond the point of repair. Once the fire people had defeated the soldiers, they gathered around Xanthos and Elric, and the elf quickly untied Xanthos' restraints and tried to escape the dungeon, but the fires backed them into the corner. However, the fire people didn't try to harm the boys like the skeletons. On the contrary, they kept their distance and made sure that Elric wasn't burned. The fire people stood eerily with their flaming heads pointed in Xanthos' direction. The longer he waited for them to do something, the angrier that Xanthos became. You ruined my life, he yelled. Why are you doing this to me? One of the fire people walked to the nearest wall and waved their hand over it, burning a message into the bricks. We know what you are. Frustrated, Xanthos got to his feet and walked closer to the wall. He inspected the message as if there was a hidden answer somewhere burned into the letters. I don't understand, he told them. Who are you, and who do you think I am? The fire person waved their hand over the wall again, and a new message appeared. We're your family. We've been searching for you, and we need your help. What? Xanthos asked. How are we family? You're a demon among men, and the heir to the demon throne. It's your destiny to rule us. You're really going to introduce this 2 chapters before the end of the book, Chris? Really? Really? Right now? Excuse me? I'm sorry. I think I'm gonna go ahead and burn the badges that I made for our fan club. We are no longer the Chris Coffer fan club. We're now in a fight with him. We are in an official fight with Chris Coffer. All those in favor, say aye. Xanthos was so baffled that he felt lightheaded. Yeah, I can relate. I'm sorry, but you have me mistaken for someone else, he said. I don't even know what a demon is. Ooh, Elric said. They're demons. Elric, you know who these people are? He asked. Yeah, well, I mean, sort of. I didn't know that the stories were real. What stories? Haven't you ever heard the legend of the Demon King? Elric asked. Xanthos stared at Elric like he was speaking a different language. It's a fable my mother told me when I was younger, he said. According to ancient myth, the center of the earth is inhabited by a fiery race of people known as demons. They protect our planet's core and keep the world spinning, and they've been a peaceful people, but a few thousand years ago the Demon King became corrupt, and he waged a war with humanity. He led his demons to the surface and caused fires that almost destroyed the planet. Thankfully, a group of sorcerers killed the Demon King and imprisoned the other demons. Without a ruler, the demons have lived in utter chaos ever since, but the legend of the Demon King states that one day a new king will be born among mankind. It's his destiny to sit on the demon throne and restore the demons to the peaceful race that they once were. And they think I'm the Demon King? Xanthos asked. Oh, can you blame them? Elric asked. You're a fairy who controls fire. Who would be a better candidate? The fire person waved their hand over the wall and wrote another message. Search your heart, Xanthos. You've been searching for us as much as we've been searching for you. We're your missing piece. Xanthos was speechless. Once again, I can relate. For as long as he could remember, Xanthos had always been trying to fill a void in his heart. Over the years, he filled it mostly with approval, friendships, adventure, and recently, love. However, no matter where he lived or who he met, the emptiness always returned. But what if Xanthos wasn't supposed to be fulfilled by magic fairies or even Elric? Perhaps the demons were his missing piece all along. Unfortunately, Xanthos didn't have time to find out. As if the demons were being dragged underground by an invisible lasso, they abruptly started dropping through the floor. They held onto the ground with all their might, desperate to stay above the surface, but they weren't strong enough to fight whatever force was pulling them down. What is happening to you? Xanthos asked. One demon remained, and they used their last bit of strength to burn another message into the wall beside them. She's compelling us. You have to free us. Please, help us. Xanthos threw himself onto the ground and grabbed the demon's hand before he disappeared below the ground. Free you from who? Xanthos asked. Who is compelling you? The one who released us from the core. She's controlling us with the book. She's going to attack the city. She'll destroy everything if you don't stop her. Xanthos' mind was racing with dozens of questions, but he knew he only had time to ask one before the demon was pulled away. How do I stop her? He asked. Find the book, recite the oath, and the throne is yours. The demon's flaming hand slipped from Xanthos' grip and they were dragged underground. We've got to find that book, Xanthos said. Are you ready for that? Do you even want to be the Demon King? Elric asked. The question had never even entered Xanthos' mind. I mean, what choice do I have? He asked. If you saw what the demons did to the soldiers, if we don't stop whoever's controlling them, the whole world will burn. Bam, bam! The boys heard a powerful commotion coming from outside. Bam, bam! They ran to the dungeon's barred window and gazed through to Chariot Hill's town square. Bam, bam! Xanthos and Elric were shocked to see the entire city of gold, silver, and bronze buildings perched on top of a cloud over the castle. Bam, bam! And even more shockingly, the army of the dead was attacking it with cannons and harpoons. Oh, that must be the Alchemy Institute, Xanthos exclaimed. What is it doing in Chariot Hills? Elric asked. So that's why the Emperor wanted me here, he said. He was using me as bait for the alchemists. He led them into a trap. But why is the righteous Emperor attacking the alchemists? Elric asked. Seven wants to eliminate everyone who poses a threat to him, Xanthos said. This could be the exact distraction we need. While the alchemists and the army of the dead are busy fighting, let's sneak out of the righteous palace and find the woman controlling the demons. We gotta catch her before she reaches the city. Come on. As the fairies and the witches moved down the icy tunnel in the northern mountains, they stayed in a tight huddle for warmth and protection. The girls expected the terrifying Snow Queen to lunge out of the darkness at every twist and turn, so they tiptoed through the tunnel as quietly and cautiously as possible. Pip led the shivering and trembling procession nose first, sniffing the air after every step. Do you smell her yet? Tangerine asked. Will you stop asking me that? Pip asked. Sorry. But these mountains are huge, Tangerina said. I just want to make sure that we're even headed in the right direction. I told you, this is the only tunnel where I caught a whiff of something beside rocks and ice, Pip said. Either the Snow Queen is rotting at the end of this tunnel or we're about to find a decomposing moose. Sounds like a win to me, Stitches said. The fairies and the witches finally reached the end of the tunnel and entered an enormous frozen cavern. Emeralda waved her hand and covered all the stalagmite and stalactites with glowing jewels to illuminate the area. I can't imagine Madam Weatherberry living here, Mrs. B said. Then again, it's amazing how far people will move for more square footage and high ceilings. Living isn't how I would describe it. The fairies and the witches turned toward the unexpected voice. They were completely mesmerized when they noticed a beautiful woman with dark hair had appeared at the back of the cavern. She wore a plum gown, a stylish fascinator, and a smile that was brighter than all of Emeralda's jewels combined. Madam Weatherberry! Tangerina and Skyline cheered. The girls ran to embrace their old teacher with open arms, but sadly they moved right through the fairy. Oh, sorry, I almost forgot, Skyline said. Bristol told us that you're dimensionally challenged now. Oh, unfortunately so, Madam Weatherberry said. It's so wonderful to see you girls. I can't believe what beautiful young women you've become. Who are your friends? Oh, this is Stitches, Sprout, BB, and Pip, Emeralda said. They came to live with us after the Ravencrest School of Witchcraft closed down. Do you want to know why they call me Stitches? The witch asked. Just ignore her, Tangerina said. We do. Poor Stitches. Oh, it's a pleasure to meet you, ladies, Madam Weatherberry said. Bristol has kept me updated on all your trials and tribulations. I'm so proud of everything that you've accomplished. I was hoping Bristol would bring you to visit me one day so that I could congratulate you personally. Madam Weatherberry looked around at her guests, but she didn't see everyone that she'd expected. Wait a moment. Why aren't Bristol and Lucy with you? Oh, Julia, I posted in the chat this morning before we started. We're just about halfway through the chapter. But I always post before I come on. The fairies and the witches glanced at one another with distress written all over their faces. Madam Weatherberry instantly knew that something was wrong. Naisa, I hope this won't make you angry, but I'm going to recycle Madam Weatherberry's voice for Edith in my book. I hope that's okay, but it feels like the right voice for her. I've been working really hard to find a voice for Edith, and when I found Madam Weatherberry's voice, I was like, oh, that feels good. But you guys, I can't just keep coming up with new voices forever, so I gotta recycle some of them. They're not endless in my brain. We gotta reuse some of these things. So this isn't a social visit, the fairy said. Then tell me what's happening. Emeralda quickly summarized the events from the past week. She told Madam Weatherberry about the fire that had destroyed more than half of Ironhand and how all the world's leaders were invited to a conference of kings at the Alchemy Institute to discuss the matter, and how the alchemists were planning to eliminate Xanthos, and how Bristol was currently leading a team of delegates through the Temple of Knowledge to find the Book of Sorcery. We all knew that Xanthos was innocent, but until a couple of hours ago, we really didn't have any proof, Emeralda said. Just now, in the Righteous Emperor, we saw Princess Proxima summoning the fire with a spell. The alchemists must be wrong about Xanthos, but they're really right about the fire. It's spreading through the southern countryside as we speak and destroying everything in its path. If we don't stop it soon, the whole world is going to go up in flames. Then why have you traveled all the way up here? Madam Weatherberry asked. Emeralda cringed. Mostly because there's only one person we know of who's powerful enough to stop fire like that, she said. Madam Weatherberry went very tense when she realized who Emeralda was talking about. The fairy looked over her shoulder to the frozen Snow Queen. Her guests shrieked when they discovered the monstrous witch in the wall of ice behind her. So you've come to set her free, Madam Weatherberry said. Listen, I know that sounds bananas, but I don't know what else to do, Emeralda said. There's no way of telling when or if Bristol will come back with the Book of Sorcery, so we have to do something drastic before Emeralda stopped talking mid-sentence when she noticed something bizarre about the Snow Queen's frozen prison. The wall was dripping, and one of the witch's frostbitten hands was already poking through the ice. Madam Weatherberry, are you defrosting her? The fairy turned back to the girls and let out a heavy sigh. am, she said. But why? Tangerina asked. I have my own reasons to free her, Madame Weatherbury said, although it sounds like yours are far more pressing than mine. The fairies and the witches couldn't believe their ears. You mean you aren't going to try to talk us out of it? Skylene asked. On the contrary, Madame Weatherbury wanted to dissuade them with every fiber of her being. However, the fairy had her own plan in motion, and she knew she would accomplish it much sooner with her former students' help. I'm afraid I agree with you, Madame Weatherbury said. If the world is in danger, then we must do whatever is necessary to save it. But if you are going to free the Snow Queen, you must be prepared to stop her by any means necessary, too. Are you prepared to do that? Esmeralda gulped. We are, she said with confidence. Good, Madame Weatherbury said, and she stepped out of their way. Then release her. Wow. Well, it looks like we're going to finish this book tomorrow. No. Probably 2 more days. We probably have 2 more days based on how many pages there are. You know, I got tricked by him. At the back, there's a prologue, and I was like, oh my gosh, a prologue for a new book, but it's a prologue for the Land of Stories because obviously the Land of Stories comes after this. Yeah, it does sound about that. That's about right, Jen. Pretty cool, right, though? You know, maybe Saturday we start a new book. It's not bad. Not bad. They're gonna have to kill the Snow Queen. I don't know if that's true. I wish it didn't, Nikki. I really, with every fiber of my soul, I wish there was another one coming. But as he has proven by being a trickster and putting a prologue to the Land of Stories at the end of this book, we know there's not another one coming. I'm a little bit salty at him right now for what he did with Xanthos. A little bit salty. A little bit salty. I don't know, Jen. Like, he seems like he's setting it up for that, but like, I mean, when was this book published? And he's already had like a whole nother series started since then and a standalone. Well, this was only 2021, so it wasn't that long ago. I guess it's possible. But then again, we know it's hard, you know? It's hard. Yeah, maybe he's just leaving it as an option. Yeah, for himself. I don't know. I really don't know, you guys. Anyway, Roxy, they're actually all of the Land of Story books are already up on YouTube if you want to listen to them. I have a playlist for them, and you can just go through there if you want to. But I obviously recommend starting at the very, very beginning of the story because it's a lot. There's 6 books in the Land of Story series, and you have to read them in order. I'm gonna try, Sloth. That is my... I'm going on a mission. We're going to find him. Chris, yeah, literally though, I know, literally. So I just wanted to remind everyone we have Roll for Slime tonight. It's a full agenda. We have a lot going on in today's Roll for Slime, so please come hang out with us. It is here, or well, on my other account on TikTok, on my Slime account, and then next week is After Dark only, and that will be on YouTube. So if anyone's been waiting for an After Dark, I posted the info to sign up for that on Patreon, and not saying don't do what I did there, so watch out for that. Yeah, they are numbered though. I do need to get that fixed, Naisa. That's on my list of things to fix. If anyone wants to tell me a fast way to fix that. I don't know why they're all jumbled in there, but they are in a playlist. So that is the whole kit and caboodle, and then that's it. Yeah, they're numbered. At the very least, they're numbered. I don't know how they got out of order because I uploaded them in order, so I don't really get that. But it is what it is for now, unless someone has a trick to fix it. All right, I will see you all at 4:30. We will be doing many customs and roll for slimes, including Miss Jen right here. She is on our list for today, among many others. And that is what is up. Have a great rest of your day until then.